Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by Amica Insurance, now with new lower auto insurance rates for Massachusetts drivers. By Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. And by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
Two newcomers on the Bruins defense tonight. David Warsofsky has played for the Bruins previous to this. Joe Morrow, though, will make his NHL debut tonight as he will park there as probably one of the third pair.
Yeah, and again, those three guys, if you include Trotman, have played a combined 10 games in the NHL. So they're going to have their work cut out for them. And let's go back to what Brick was talking about. This is one of the keys that we have for this game, too. Getting back to the breakout. Look at this right now. The guys are just putting the puck to nowhere against the Minnesota Wild sometimes. And look at the lack of support through the middle of the ice. Kelly tries to take out his man against the wall. Then the Bruins come scrambling back, and they cannot figure it out. This ends up going in the back of the net, all based off a first bad breakout pass. And again, low support. Going to the backhand, trying to move the puck up the ice to Bergeron, right? Look how he's kind of high right there, and he misses him. He's open, but he's a little high. He misses him. I mean, Trotman just completely misses that pass. And here, going behind the net, Dougie Hamilton on the backhand. Now, Seidenberg is going to try and Krejci, right? There's three Minnesota Wild players in between him and himself. And there's no other players. The other two players are scooting out of the zone right there. So breakouts have got to be better. You get good breakout, you get speed through the neutral zone. The Bruins then can elevate their forecheck.
Focal point for tonight's game for you?
Let's go back to what Brick was talking about with Jack at the opening of their segment. It's about winning battles. It has to be, and that sounds so cliche, I know, but they didn't do it against Minnesota. And this Buffalo team was put through what one of their coaches told me was a 9 out of 10 as far as intensity type practice yesterday because of the fact that they were putrid against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So you better expect them, even though they're not that talented, you better expect them, Dale, to be engaged in battles. And the Bruins have got to win them. That means get on the strong side, get the puck, support each other, and get it out.
The only line that Claude Julien has not tinkered with was the only line that really comported themselves properly in Tuesday's game with David Krejci in between Milan Lucic and Seth Griffith.
They've been good. Since Griffith has been with that line the last 4 games, they've put up some pretty heady numbers. 2 goals for each Lucic and Krejci. Griffith with 3 with 2 the other night. But if you combine all their point totals, you get good puck possession, good effort. This is because, as far as I'm concerned, Krejci's handling the puck beautifully. Lucic is skating beautifully, and now Griffith is starting to be involved. Instead of holding back and waiting and making sure, he's now active in the play because it's more instinctive for him.
The Boston Bruins are headed up north. They will take on the Buffalo Sabres tonight at the First Niagara Center in Buffalo, New York. We're ready to bring you play-by-play action. Let's head north. For Jack Edwards, Andy Brickley, and Garen Austin.
Dale, Billy, thank you very much. Starting goalies at First Niagara Center, brought to you by your New England Audi dealers. Experience the new Audi A3 with legendary Audi Quattro all-wheel drive today. Nicholas Svedberg, rock solid against the Buffalo Sabres. His last time in this building, and Jonas Enroth just getting no goal support whatsoever. And the Sabres are in a real struggle. Zemgus Girgensons and Patrice Bergeron on the opening face-off. The game is on. And Brick, for the Bruins, it seems to be winning the next 5 seconds and winning the next 40 seconds, shift by shift.
Yeah, it's about work ethic tonight for Boston. It's about decision-making. It's about composure. All the little things that really are the big things in the sport of hockey that just haven't been there on a consistent basis for this club.
Joe Morrow in his first appearance in the National Hockey League, getting the first shift of the game. Simon Gagne on Patrice Bergeron's line. Bergeron flanked by 2 new wings. David Krejci over the boards. Girgensons gets it out to center. Kelly on the back pressure knocks him down and goes down himself. Dougie Hamilton picking up the puck. There's Morrow, an attack-minded defenseman, feeds Krejci looking for Griffith. And we got Lucic squaring off against Chris Stewart right in front of the penalty bench, where they will soon take up residence. Lucic with a couple of rights. Lucic go to the body. This is Lucic's first fight of the season. Taking a couple of lefts, now going for the big right, but not connecting. Stewart. Multiple shots to the face of Lucic. Now he's getting the jackhammer going. With the right hand, goes body. Pulls him off balance, goes for the hook. Stewart stumbles and goes down. It was within about 20 feet of that spot that Kevin Miller wrenched his shoulder out after a bout with Nicholas Deslauriers.
Yeah, not sure if there's a history here between these two players, Jack, but this is early in a hockey game. Both teams consider this a must play better, must win, must have better effort all the way across the board. And that brings out a lot of passion, a lot of emotions. And Bruins in the line change. Lucci's going to make his way out on the ice, trying to get involved in the play, get in position. And Stewart's the one that came barking at him, it looks like. Right off the bat, he challenged Lucic. Stewart making his way across the ice now, headed for the Buffalo locker room for some kind of repair.
He's sprinting down the tunnel, so that leads one to think that he's going to return.
And you mentioned the Miller fight where he got injured, Jack, when he fell to the ice, but we loved that response at the time after the hit by Deslauriers coming down the wing. So a little response tonight, a little passion, a little emotion from the Bruins and Buffalo to start this hockey game.
Matt Moulson. Krejci getting the shaft of the stick down to block the pass, and it's ruled played with a high stick. The face-off out in the neutral zone. It has been such a miserable year for Buffalo. Claude Julien's Bruins trying to take advantage of it. Ted Nolan beat him up in practice yesterday.
Time to go to work.
Yep.
No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more anything easy. No more waiting around for people to show me that they're ready to play.
Erickson cross ice from Marchand. He tries to turn past Tyson Strachan. Mike Weber flips the puck off the high glass, and then it hits the protective netting out of play. Now you look at this Buffalo Sabres team, and sort of following the lead of an item in the Buffalo News today. There are now 343 players in the NHL that have scored at least one goal, but not Matt Moulson, Brian Giunta, Chris Stewart, Drew Stafford, even Andre Benoit, a defenseman who's brought here for offensive purposes. That's $2 million plus in salary that's been paid to guys who are supposed to score goals that don't have a single one, or 12% of the way into the season. Louis Erickson working it to the line against Girgensons. Swivels it across center ice. Giunta, the quick feed to Torrey Mitchell. The drive up high on Svedberg, who was going down all the way on the shot. And it caught him up around the collarbone. He'll smother it for the faceoff in the Boston zone.
Yeah, watching Dennis Seidenberg on this shift. After the Bruins had the faceoff in the offensive zone, the puck was won back to him at the left point. Just kind of blew an edge with no real pressure on him. And I wasn't sure if he's going to try to make a line change here when this puck turns over in the neutral zone. But this left side is wide open on a counterattack. Here comes Seidenberg now, who's coming from the other side of the ice, and don't know if he needed some kind of skate attention or what, but an awkward first shift, or second shift, I should say.
Seidenberg wears unusual skates. Tyler Myers' wrist shot into the pile. They actually don't get sharpened, they just change the blade out. Campbell's snapshot goes off a stick, and the faceoff will be in the Buffalo zone. You can see from the Torrey Mitchell shot on the vacated left defensive side for Boston how simple that Buffalo's going to try to keep it tonight.
Don't turn down an opportunity to shoot and hit the net. Just 10 shots in their last game against Toronto.
Campbell wins it cleanly. Back to Zach Trotman, the drive, and a save by Jonas Enroth.
And that kind of shot right there by Trotman was on display the last time we were in here. 3 goals by Bruins defensemen. 2 not in the lineup tonight, Chara's group. But with good traffic in front of Enroth.
Deslauriers can't do anything with the puck. Campbell pokes it back to Trotman, to David Warsofsky. Marshfield zone. That one rides higher. 3 crazy bounces off the dasher and went all the way back to the neutral zone. Seidenberg slams it around the kick plate. Bergeron taps it stalled for Gagne, but back comes Tyler Ennis, leading the Sabres with 3 goals.
Good stick by Dougie Hamilton right there.
Seidenberg has Kelly cross ice in a lot of space. Kelly takes it on the bounce off the boards against Benoit. Hamilton pokes the puck ahead to Bergeron. Funny bounce off the end wall. Down goes Ristolainen in a wrestling match against Gagne. Stafford backhands it weakly through the corner. Bergeron centering pass. Benoit taps to the point. Hamilton back down to the circle. And Ristolainen gets it through Bergeron's stick to Stafford. Buffalo wants a change. Hamilton doesn't get much on the pass for Seidenberg, and it's a bit of an emergency, but Seidenberg saves it back to Hamilton at the corner. He throws it forward, unplayable for Marchand, and it will go for icing.
Yeah,
that was Griffith.
Yeah, Seidenberg had to use his left skate and left leg to make that play behind the net. A couple of things to take a look at. Winning faceoffs in the offensive zone. Shots from the point. Good lateral movement by Trotman. Gets it through traffic on goal. And then Dougie Hamilton, he's got a saber trying to sneak in behind him, posting up at that blue line. They try to isolate him 2-on-1, and he has a nice stick in the neutral zone.
Griffith chips the puck off the boards, and it rolls slowly toward the goal line. No icing, and Tyler Myers picks it up. Josh Georges. Myers goes D-to-D. The Bruins compress the space to the back half of the neutral zone, and they get the turnover out of it. Paille, the left wing tap for David Krejci. Delorier finishes his check on Krejci. Myers just below the top of the glass. Morrow keeps it in at the point. Krejci tries to slam it through McCormick's skates. McQuaid waits and then wires it in. Krejci on the backhand tries to slip it middle to Paille, but can't. McCormick off of Griffith's skates. Delorier gloves it down, gets to the red line, and slides it in deep.
Yeah, with Lucic in the penalty box for that foul with Stewart. Paille gets first opportunity on that left wing with that line.
Marchand, the short tap from Morrow. He does well not to cough it up in the defensive zone. Soderberg, hard for Eriksson. He fires it around. Marchand pivots off the hit by Strachan. Eriksson tries to drop it back to the point man, Morsovsky. Morsovsky recovers at the Boston line on the feed from Trotman. Weber goes D-to-D to Strachan. Very quiet building. Hasn't been a lot to cheer about here in Buffalo this season. Gianta gets a piece of the puck. Morsovsky turns his goal. He's got Paille racing up the left side in front of him. Morsovsky wrists it hard off the corner glass. Benoit lets it run for Stafford. Campbell gives him a bump. Ristolainen turns his goal. Pirouettes away from Campbell. Comes back up the boards. Paille stops it at the blue line, but Stafford brings it forward off Molson's effort. Stafford wheels, fires on Svedberg, loose in the crease. Paille, the confident tap to Campbell, who sends Riley Smith ahead. Self-pass. Now he shoulders Ristolainen off. Wins the puck knowing the hit's coming. Campbell can't swipe it middle against Benoit. Molson taps the backhand over to Ennis. Rasmus Ristolainen. Georges to Ennis. Indirect pass for Delorier. Kelly on the back pressure. Trotman tries to feed Gagne ahead. That doesn't connect, and it's icing against Boston.
Yeah, he collided with Delorier. Otherwise, Gagne was open in the neutral zone. We'll see the Bruins take the ice during the 2014-15 season, presented by the Massachusetts State Lottery. Tickets and suite rentals are available now for this season's must-see matchups, including Saturday's game against the Senators. To purchase tickets or rent a suite, visit bostonbruins.com or use the Bruins mobile app.
Lucic and Stewart both out of the box as we're just past the 6-minute mark in this game. Myers down into the corner. Mitchell gives chase. Pulls up short against Trotman. Trotman angles him in. Tries to put the body on him. Mitchell scrapes it over to Girgensons. Girgensons back to Georges, to Mitchell. He's got Gianta on the doorstep. Georges' drive through Gianta's screen. It goes wide. Myers wraps the puck down through the corner. Gianta next to the post. Trotman takes a high shot. I don't know if it was off of Mitchell's elbow or his stick, but he jolted his head backward. Gagne gains the attacking line, fires it on Enroth, who steers the rebound to the corner. Bergeron gets the shoulder underneath and gets the leverage on Myers, but Buffalo manages to clear.
Yeah, pretty good job by Boston, even though they were in their own zone, and Buffalo's getting some zone time. No real dangerous opportunities for the Sabres because of the box-and-one defense.
Morrow steps up to take the loose puck in front of Cody McCormick, and this play is offside. 12:59 to go first period. The Buffalo Sabres to the Boston Bruins coming your way live on NESN. 6 skaters is too many.
Yeah, this is just a little too liberal in terms of line changes. They're playing defense with 6 bodies. And that happened well before the whistle because Buffalo doesn't get possession until the Bruins actually break the puck out of their zone into center ice. So the too many men on the ice call. And Chris Stewart will go right back in the penalty box to serve it.
Power play stats brought to you by Echo Store Technologies. Sabres have been shorthanded 39 times already this season. That ranks number 27 in terms of putting their opponents on the power play. Riley Smith, Dougie Hamilton. There's Louis Eriksson. The drive gets blocked down. Josh George is getting in the way. Hamilton out high. Smith down the boards for Eriksson. He's got Soderberg in the corner. Eriksson to Bergeron. The shot saved by Enroth. Soderberg shoveling it across, comes all the way to Hamilton. He gets it back and drives it. That might have gone off the mask of Enroth, and it caroms up and into the protective netting.
I thought it might be stuck in Soderberg still.
Is it?
I don't know because I didn't see it go out of play.
I thought, yeah, it is.
Now the Bruins with that overload on one side. Usually Riley Smith's on the opposite side here, and they look for that backdoor play. But they set up Hamilton for the one-timer. Soderberg's in there. Oh, yeah, you saw the puck go off Enroth.
Yeah.
That's actually a stop, a positional save. Went right through the backside of Soderberg and then off Enroth and out.
Power play is brought to you by your New England Mazda dealers. I thought I saw something flying toward the protective netting, but then I didn't see the netting twitch, so it must have cleared the top bar. Mitchell ties up Bergeron. Eriksson the one-hand shove. Hamilton's wrist shot and a leaping save by Enroth. Soderberg. Hamilton to Bergeron. Eriksson. Hamilton has Smith on the near side. Shovels it over to Eriksson. Low to Soderberg along the goal line looking for Bergeron. Too much traffic. Hamilton goes to the dot. Whips it past Bergeron, who is coming out high. Smith wheels the puck down through the corner. Soderberg with Weber on his back. Now it's Louis Eriksson to Bergeron. Off the end board. Soderberg the backhand for Smith. Couldn't kick to the stick. Soderberg second chance. And Weber finds the puck and tumbles it out.
Yeah, a lot of almosts with that power play unit. The other unit without Krug and without Char is going to be a little bit of a makeshift, but other guys will get an opportunity to play that power play situation. But that first unit on the ice tonight, still intact.
Marchand can't control along the boards. It's Marchand, Lucic, Griffith, Krejci, and the man with the puck, David Warsofsky, who showed a lot of confidence in his brief time with the Bruins last year. Marchand tries to go around two. Marcus Foligno with the break. Warsofsky all over him to change the angle and limit the options against Nicholas Svedberg. Lucic, Marchand out of the skates. Warsofsky along the line. Krejci holds the wrist shot, sails through with Lucic screening in front. Warsofsky's drive. Georges knocks it down. 2 shots on goal. The power play is expired, and Stewart, who has been a goal scorer earlier in his career, is back on the ice. Myers, Stafford, Griffith with the good effort for back pressure. And Buffalo's rush dies on the vine. Now the Bruins look for a clean breakout. Griffith back to the defenseman, Dougie Hamilton. Hamilton over the crossed Sabres at center ice. Weber takes the hit from Campbell to move the puck to Molson. Molson hard off the boards. It bounces high in the air, and Hamilton gloves it down and then wrists it over to Seidenberg. Seidenberg winds and drives it on Enroth. Juicy rebound. Weber into Campbell's chest. It bounces around in the Sabres zone before Ennis clears it. He goes flying over Seidenberg's stick. Seidenberg got the puck. Strachan D to D. Weber off the glass. It bounces down to Ennis's side. Paille filling the gap. Hamilton wrists it across the defensive zone. Paille gives back to Seidenberg. D to D. Hamilton with Mitchell chasing and finishing his check. No icing here as the puck tumbled through a couple of sticks. Girgenson's up ice. Gagne breaks up the pass. Warsofsky. D to D to Trotman. Gagne. Now Bergeron in the corner. Quickly snaps the backhand around for Riley Smith. Gagne high slot. Second chance throws it down. Benoit to Giunta. He flips it all the way to the end boards. Svedberg couldn't play it there. He almost got caught, and Gionta tried to bank it in off the Boston goal.
Yeah, no man's land. Wanted to play that puck, then thought better of it. Didn't want to have a penalty handling the puck outside that trapezoid.
Myers gives up possession to Morrow. Morrow's pass intercepted Sam Reinhart with his first touch of the game. Reinhart playing his 9th game. The Sabres have to decide after tonight's game whether or not he's going to stay with the team or go back to his junior team, which is Kootenay, wherever the heck that is. Sure, there's some highfalutin guy who can tell you exactly where it is, where to put it.
I'm going to guess he likes Buffalo better than Kootenay.
I know he likes the per diem better, that's for sure. Cody Hodgson, demoted to the 4th line, tries the centering pass. He does not connect with Reinhart. Krejci, a tumbling muffin, you never know. In on Enroth. Strachan will slow it down as Buffalo gets fresh legs on the ice up front. Stewart asking for the puck. Marchand limiting his options, and he gives it up to Eriksson. Marchand takes the Eriksson feed. Soderberg on the net drive. Marchand waits, looks for Seidenberg off the deflected pass. Eriksson wheels it, a stick save Enroth. Soderberg going to work on the end boards against Strachan. Hamilton's one-timer slowed down in front. Eriksson tried to make the pivot, but Weber was giving him a pretty hard time in front. McCormick with the effort against Marchand. Marchand picks the puck off the kick plate. McCormick stays with it and flips the backhand through the seam. Chris Stewart tries to turn it on against Seidenberg, who gets back. Blockers stopped by Svedberg. High pop-up all the way to the hash marks at the boards. Stewart tries to poke it down into the corner. Soderberg gets it loose. Seidenberg around for Hamilton, and he's got space. He'll take it with speed. Dougie Hamilton, 1 against 4 as the Bruins is behind him, and Georges with a beautiful hit, taking Hamilton right to the boards with power. Myers can't get past Kelly. Kanye has Bergeron in front. Kanye dangles against Myers, sends it back to McQuaid, along to Joe Morrow. Morrow to the hash marks and springs off Kelly's forehand. Ennis intercepts. The Bruins trying to press Buffalo deep in their own zone and force an error from the Sabres. Molson carefully up the wall and out.
That was a good look by Morrow. Kelly was actually just trying to redirect that pass into the slot area.
Stafford gives Ennis the puck over the line. Ennis' shot deflects, dies at the bottom of the circle. Gregory Campbell with 3 quick steps, and the Bruins have a 3-on-2. Kelly feeds Morrow jumping up on the play, and it's ruled offside. 6:36 to go first period. Shots on goal are 7-4 in favor of the Bruins. It's 0-0 on the scoreboard.
NHL player and trying to seize the opportunity and continue to earn his ice time for this Boston Bruins club. Got good offensive instincts.
This is icing against the Sabres. The Sabres stuck on 4 shots on goal. They had in the 3 periods at Toronto a couple of nights ago, 4, then 4, then 2 in the 3rd period. A franchise record low, 10 shots on goal.
And when they've been in the Boston zone, they've been looking to get shots, but the Bruins have been in pretty good position defensively in shooting lanes with good stick position and protecting the slot.
Paille has Campbell. The pass into Campbell's skates. Weber and Campbell muck for the puck in the corner. Campbell produces the turnover to Smith. Campbell holds, draws Strachan, the pass up the middle. Trotman turns his stick to keep it in the zone. The drive from Paille does not get through the forest. Mitchell sends Girgensons up the off wing, and Warsofsky takes the angle on him and just puts him against the board. Girgensons trying to A-frame for space against Smith. Warsofsky plays it above the shoulder and then gets the next touch, and the faceoff will be in the Boston zone. Key matchup brought to you by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda. Nicholas Svedberg, 32 saves in his first career NHL shutout. It came 12 nights ago in this very building.
Yeah, and he was real good that night, especially in the first period. Buffalo had half their shots of their 32 total in that first period.
Yeah, the line you used as the final siren went off was he earned it. He earned that shutout. That was not just an easy rocking chair of a game for a goalie. Josh George's wrist shot whistles by past the ear of Chris Stewart. Stewart working against Morrow. Morrow trying to stay on him physically. Stewart makes the pass to Hodgson, tries to wrap around. Can't get through McQuaid and Svedberg. Cody McCormick, who's a pretty tough customer up the boards. Hodgson, once a highly regarded first-round pick of the Vancouver Canucks. And Joe Morrow's in a little bit of trouble here, holding. So Buffalo will go on the power play when the game resumes.
Morrow's going to go for a hold. He's in one-on-one coverage in a battle with Chris Stewart. Both players using their free arm to try to get an advantage, but Morrow's the one that's going to the box.
Power play stats are brought to you by Echo Store Technologies. Bergeron and Marchand reunited as forwards on the penalty kill. Dennis Seidenberg and Dougie Hamilton, the defensive pair, to start it out. Tyler Myers knocks down the puck, but out in the neutral zone. He and Benoit are the back men on the power play. Stafford, Ennis, and Molson are up front for Ted Nolan's Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, and Molson's the guy that's going to really be around the net.
Molson throws it off Svedberg, trying to produce the rebound for Stafford, but the Bruins scramble to it first. Ennis on the half boards. Molson sends it around the perimeter. Myers, the lunge for it, but he can't control. The Bruins will change out their killers.
6'7", and he couldn't reach that?
Power play brought to you by Arbella. Here for Bruins fans, here for good. Trotman and Stafford in the corner. Stafford wraps up Trotman pretty cleverly. Molson in direct for Myers along the line. Benoit back to Myers with Eriksson in his face. Myers fakes the shot. Molson top of the circle, goes low for Ennis. Ennis has Stafford at the dot. Stafford gives it back to Ennis. Ennis fires on Svedberg. The rebound. Molson getting hit with Ennis's shot. There's a scramble with at least 3 bodies down. What seemed to be a really late whistle, unless the referee had x-ray vision and still could see the puck and the face-off in the Boston zone.
Yeah, he must have had a much better view than we did up here, because there was a lot of bodies on top of Svedberg. And if this puck's loose, I'm not sure how the Bruins goaltender can handle this puck. Good job by Molson to keep it alive. Gave Ennis a second opportunity. And then all kinds of bodies in the Bruin crease. McQuaid trying to police it, trying to knock people out of there. Svedberg trying to use his athleticism to try to stay in some kind of position to stop this puck from getting across the goal line. Bruins do a pretty decent job of protecting.
Campbell and Paille are the penalty killing forwards now. Svedberg does a little housekeeping with his equipment in the crease. Hodgson, Giunta, Stewart, Georges, and Ristolainen. The power play unit now for Buffalo, and Ristolainen can't keep the puck in the attacking zone. Buffalo 0 for 32 this season on the power play. So, of course, we went back to last season's game summaries, and they were 0 for their last 9. So they're on a streak of 0 for 41 with the man advantage dating back to last April. Dougie Hamilton with the opening, and he scales it the length of the ring.
Nice communication between Hamilton and Svedberg. Hamilton had all kinds of time because of that communication.
This is just a brain, well, probably can't say that before 10
Fill in
p.m.
the blank.
Yeah. I mean, missing a seam pass by that much from your own side of the red line on the power play. Yeah, that's one of the reasons Buffalo's in last place.
It's one of those things like, how do we diagram the breakout again?
That's why you're supposed to pay attention in meetings. Rasmus Ristolainen, who just made that Elaine pass. Georges fires it around. Giunta in the corner. Stewart in front for Hodgson, the redirection. Lucic gets caved in on Stewart's hit in the corner. Warsofsky on the tight turn to get the puck cross ice to Krejci. Lucic can't field it, but it's a billiard shot in on Enron. And Buffalo clears. The Bruins need to regain their intensity after the penalty kill. They've had some decent rhythm at times tonight. Zach Trotman tries to hammer it in deep, but it's off Delorier's stick. Ristolainen chops it over to Foligno. Seidenberg rattles it off Krejci's legs. Here comes Delorier. Shields the puck from Krejci, but Trotman takes it away. Griffith can't shove McCormick off the puck. McCormick has lead in his boots. Good blue-collar player. This puck deflects into the Buffalo bench with 2:15 remaining in the first period.
Tonight, following NESN Sports Today, Dale, Billy, and former head of the NHLPA, Paul Kelly, will debate the latest NHL headlines and other hot topics from around the league. The gloves come off tonight on The Instigators, presented by Electric Supply Center, driven to help you compete.
Bergeron wins the center dot face-off against Ennis. Now Seidenberg over to Hamilton. Hamilton right up the middle off Bergeron's skates. Ennis checks Bergeron up onto the dasher, but Bergeron gets it to Kelly. Kelly getting held by Myers, and Myers holds his hands up. Here's Gagne. Gagne working his way around Benoit. Hamilton along the line to Seidenberg. Zips it back to Hamilton on the paint. The drive goes off Myers' skate as he's wrestling with Kelly in front. Seidenberg chips it off the dasher. It drops from Myers. Bergeron puts the stick around him. Benoit hard off the boards, and past Seidenberg, it's going to go for icing as the Bruins attack with some intensity with the Patrice Bergeron line out there doing it.
Well, you got to assume that the referees had a good look at that attempt by Kelly when he was trying to walk around Myers. And, you know, you talk about that loose arm, that free hand that sent Joe Morrow to the box. But good effort by Kelly, able to chip this puck underneath the stick and then lean in with that left side of his body. I mean, that's a free hand again on display, but referees felt not worthy of a penalty to Myers. Tough break for Boston.
Soderberg kicks the puck back to Warsawski, chips it to the corner. Myers leaves it there, and Marchand takes it away from the big man. Marchand all the way to the dot, through the seam to Warsawski. Warsawski's wrist shot off a skate in front, comes past Eriksson. Molson pries it off the boards. Ennis very quick, but Warsawski is right there, body on body. Good defensive play by Warsawski. McQuaid the long pass for Eriksson to Marchand. The shot, Enroth fumbles it off his body, but then covers up.
Yeah, Ennis tried to help that one along, but no penalty call. Good effort by Warsawski. Takes a good angle. Ennis is even holding Warsawski's stick in that midsection of his. He's looked good here in the first period, Warsawski. Playing with confidence, moving the puck, good decisions. You know, the Bruins' entire group, but when you focus on the 6 defensemen in the lineup tonight in this first period, and I know you're playing Buffalo, but their execution, their puck management, their breakouts have been a lot better than they were against that aggressive forecheck by Minnesota.
As you saw, Warsawski coming to Boston in the trade for Vladimir Sobotka. He's playing in the KHL this year. Torrey Mitchell centering pass right onto Krejci's stick. 2-on-3 as the Bruins break up ice. Krejci, the self pass. Another one off the end boards as he gets around Weber. Trotman's drive ricochets and goes high off the glass behind Enroth. Griffith mucking on the boards, 1 against 3, and he wins the puck battle. Krejci back to Seidenberg. The drive goes off of Weber's skate with Lucic jamming in front. Trotman holds at the red line. Lucic is offside as he was struggling to make it back to the neutral zone. 31 seconds to go in the first period.
And the back pressure, too, from the forwards tonight, Jack. You know you don't have Chara, Krug, and Miller, 3 of your top 6 when you started the year. So a greater emphasis on the forwards to have that back pressure. It allowed Trotman to stand up, and then he tried to make a play right in the neutral zone. And those are the things the Bruins are trying to work on with their inexperienced defense to continue to make play.
Stewart knocks down the Warsawski pass. Offside. And it's offside with Foligno stuck inside the line. Daniel Paille, a one-time Sabre, was a first-round draft choice when Jim Benning was here with the Sabres. Benning's Vancouver Canucks are off to what, a 6-3 start?
Yes, they are.
As Benning gets his chance to be a general manager. Stewart bangs Warsawski hard. Campbell trying to waste the clock and keep it out of the dangerous area, but here's Foligno, brings it back to Myers, the wrist shot, Smith takes it right in the chest. McQuaid with 5 seconds to go in the period, sizzles it cross ice, Paille through the legs, Myers picks it up, and the horn sounds to end the first period. Neither team looking especially scintillating in the first, but the Bruins a little bit tighter than Buffalo and a little bit sharper than they were in the third period against Minnesota.
Yeah, absolutely, and you hope this is the beginning of a solid 60-minute effort on the road, regardless of your opponent. But the focus for Boston was better breakouts. They had them in that period. Now you build from there.
Dale, after falling on their faces against Minnesota a couple of nights ago, baby steps, baby steps. Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by Ace Ticket, by Subaru of New England, and by TD Bank, America's most convenient bank. Alongside Andy Brickley with Garrett Austin at ice level and our NESN production crew, I'm Jack Edwards. Glad you can be with us at First Niagara Center in Buffalo, New York, where the Bruins and Sabres are getting set for the second period. The road ahead brought to you by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. Visit sullivantire.com/road ahead. The Bruins will fly back tonight. Happy Halloween, everybody, tomorrow night. And then they'll play Ottawa in a Saturday nighter. You look 2 weeks from Saturday, and the Saturday matinees begin when Carolina comes to town. Bruins finishing off a 12-game slate in the month of October and hoping to come out of there at 6-6. Well, the Buffalo Sabres are a rebuilding team, and the city of Buffalo itself is rebuilding. Garrett has more.
Today's a special day in Buffalo. Harbor Center has officially opened. Harbor Center is the multi-use hockey and entertainment facility located directly across from the First Niagara Center. The facility includes 2 NHL-sized rinks, the Academy of Hockey, a high-performance training facility, a full-serve Marriott, a sports-themed restaurant and bar, a special Tim Hortons, as well as retail and parking space. Harbor Center is the Buffalo Sabres' $172 million project to draw more tourists into the city and to make Buffalo a national hockey destination.
Garrett, thanks very much. Ted Nolan lighting a fire underneath the Buffalo Sabres at practice yesterday. And it'll be a curious item as to whether the Sabres have a whole lot of energy in their legs come the third period. Game summary is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. What do the Bruins have to do better in the second period compared to the first period performance?
Well, I like the way they managed the puck coming out of their own zone, and that was the focus certainly in the first 20 minutes. But as far as establishing more of a presence in the offensive zone, that forecheck needs to be a little quicker. Buffalo has allowed too much time to make plays coming out of their own zone as well, and it was kind of a similar game plan by both teams in that first period. A little bit of conservative play in terms of their own zone. And if you want to have a little bit more of that energized attack, that sustained forecheck, you got to get that neutral zone speed. You got to beat the back checkers up through center ice, and that second man on the forecheck has got to get there quicker.
Benoit's wrist shot. Bergeron with the body block. Bergeron shoves the forehand up the boards. It trickles past Riley Smith. Rasmus Ristolainen takes the rolling puck back of his own goal and cuts past the post, and Chris Kelly throws it to space. An easy pickoff for Joe Morrow, who rails it around. Bruins will change out, man by man. Benoit, Gianta off his stick, Lucic, high slot. Griffith gives back to Hamilton in front, looking for Krejci. The Ristolainen knocking Krejci off balance. Torrey Mitchell loses control of the puck, but Benoit rescues it.
Yeah, not a good first decision by Benoit. That was not the time to try to force feed a pass to a player coming off the wall right around the face-off dot, and the Bruins took advantage of a bad turnover.
Svedberg lets the puck run to the end wall. Seidenberg with a stop and start to lose Gianta. Hamilton, the soft toss ahead for Krejci, trickles it through Griffith into Lucic's skates. And the Sabres come back with Cody McCormick bouncing it towards Svedberg. He'll scoop it up and take the face-off of the Boston end.
Pretty good idea right there. Simple breakout, D to D, below the dots. Short little pass up to David Krejci along the right wing boards, and then Griffith. He finds a seam in the middle of the ice coming across the blue line. And Bruins just misconnecting. Griffith tries to find Lucic on the far side, but it all starts with clean breakouts tape-to-tape passes, not one, not two, three of them. Now they had a little something. They tried a 2-on-1 Tyler Myers, but the pass in the skates of Milan Lucic.
Marchand with an aggressive dart to the dot. And the Bruins control the puck off the faceoff. Eriksson touches it ahead for Soderberg. Weber, Soderberg right there. Strachan off the boards. Morrow taps it back into the zone. Soderberg has to tag up to get onside. Mike Weber slides it back. Strachan's pass all the way to the attacking line. Molson gets a piece of it. McQuaid absorbs the Stafford hit. McQuaid goes down. Ennis scoots along forward of the goal line. Wheels it right across the goal mouth. Molson was on the doorstep but couldn't connect with it. Strachan sweeping around the zone. Wrists it to Weber. The snap shot. Morrow with the stick block. Ennis knocks it down. Comes all the way to the line. Turns and fires. Morrow with his second block in about 4 seconds. Ennis greenlights Marchand, who gets stuck in the collision and is down on hands and knees, getting up very deliberately. Molson, McQuaid in front of the Boston goal to Morrow, and Marchand barely gliding back to the Boston bench. Gagne feathers the pass over Hodgson's stick to McQuaid. Eriksson scrapes it along. Sam Reinhart back after it, not getting a whole lot of ice time. Myers finds it in his skates but throws it off of Campbell's blades. Pye on the forecheck, forcing the error from Mike Weber.
Well, Brad Marchand trying to do the job along the wall. Board work is an area that you can always improve on. He's not a big guy, and he's going to get sandwiched right between Molson and Ennis. Ennis comes in on the blind side, and he gets Marchand up a little bit high. The elbow was tucked down enough. He didn't lead with the elbow, but it was a little bit of a high hit on a shorter player.
Nobody. Oh, Campbell takes a fearsome tumble into the boards. One of the few real races to the dot/puck that we have seen since they put hybrid icing into effect last season.
He's struggling getting to the Bruins bench as well. So Marchand this period, Campbell this period, almost in successive shifts.
Warsofsky's drive sails off the glass on the deflection. Trotman trickles into the corner. Hodgson guns it around. Warsofsky will keep possession by regrouping in the neutral zone.
And I think Campbell thought he won that race to the dot for the icing call to be made.
Yeah. But you could hear at just the very last second that Reinhart was judged to be the winner of that race. And Campbell has gone down the tunnel. And that is not a good sign. Because as anybody knows, Gregory Campbell will play through just about anything. Riley Smith for Bergeron. The backhand redirection goes over the crossbar and past the post. Hamilton leaves it for Smith. Smith the slap pass for Seidenberg. Draws Delorier. Kelly out high for Smith. The blast goes off Georges' skates. The Bruins getting some attacking zone rhythm here. Delorier throwing his body around. That's what he does. Reinhart in front of his own goal. Georges and Riley Smith. And Smith's going to go for hooking. Gregory Campbell has returned to the Boston bench. This was a fearsome looking fall.
Well, when the defense pinch up, the forward's got to get back and be in position to cover up. And Campbell's taking a look over both shoulders to see where the pressure's coming from. He feels like he's ahead of the race. And he thought he got to the dot first, I believe, and there's that incidental contact. Falls down awkwardly in that dangerous distance from the boards where you don't have a chance to protect yourself. And in the ensuing action, we talked about that second man getting up in the forecheck quicker. The Bruins had a couple of good shifts with that action, spending time in the offensive zone and putting pressure on the Sabres, but the stick work by Smith, guilty of the hook after he made the steal.
Buffalo 0 for 1 tonight with 2 shots on goal. Gianta's drive goes off Seidenberg's stick and ramps up into the protected netting. Bruins have killed 9 straight shorthanded situations over the last 3+ games coming into tonight. That includes the 1 for 1 on the kill tonight. Molson back to Myers. He shovels it to Ennis. Cross ice for Benoit sneaking in the back door. Svedberg has lost his stick. It's lying at the blocker side post. Still flat against the ice. Ennis has Myers begging for the puck out top. Myers' drive. The deflection off Eriksson. Svedberg scrambles and recovers his stick. Ennis the slap pass to Molson. Takes it at the hash marks. He's got Stafford stacked up next to Seidenberg. Seidenberg with the block. Eriksson recovers the puck and wrists it the length of the ice.
Yeah, good patience. Benoit almost found that seam early in the power play, but then the Bruins get back into their structured protection and patience.
Drew Stafford rides it around the boards. Myers reverses. Ennis picks it up with Morrow on the penalty kill. Here's Stafford. He scores! And the Buffalo Sabres snap a 42 power play streak without a goal by scoring their first of the year.
Stafford's first of the year, too. One of the four guys, Jackie pointed out, early in this hockey game that had goose eggs for goals. Guys they rely on to score goals, and Stafford's certainly one of them. And he finds a good spot. He's working from the slot to either dot. He's just trying to find an open seam somewhere in the scoring area, somewhere in the shooting area, the high-quality chance area. And he gets over by that dot on the offside, and he handles that good hard pass from Ennis. And almost in one motion, able to collect that puck and snap it blocker side. Power play goal, Sabres lead.
So the Bruins have to chase the game against the Buffalo Sabres. Lucic taps the puck up the right wing boards. Benoit back after it. Sends it indirect for Rasmus Ristolainen. Saucer pass, tape to Marcus Foligno. Trotman rides Foligno into the boards, but Foligno stays on his skates. Lucic puts the shoulder into Ristolainen, the defenseman pitching all the way to the hash marks. Lucic pokes it loose. Trotman into Krejci, skates, flattens it, goes cross ice. Lucic ahead of Griffith at the line. Krejci tries to drop it back for Trotman. Here comes Chris Stewart, 2-on-1 with Foligno, drops it off to McCormick. He shatters his blade halfway down. Krejci stick handling against Girgensons. Stewart, the only man in the space, tries to bounce the pass ahead to Mitchell. Svedberg steers it over to McQuaid. Fires it off Girgenson's stick up past the red line. Weber backing in off the glass, rattles around, drops for Gianta. Gianta trickles it through the corner past the Deadwood. Girgensons against Morrow. Girgensons hits the brakes. Gianta. Morrow gets the puck loose. Or rather, it was Kelly, but the puck tumbled in front. Smith up to the red line. Off the end boards. Kelly right after it. Gets it loose for Bergeron. Throws it in front. Smith gloves it down. Smith scrapes it along through the corner, but Gianta intercepts. The self-pass into Hamilton's corner. Hamilton goes for the body. Gianta goes down, stumbling over the broken stick of McCormick from a couple of minutes ago. Ennis off the right wing boards. Gianta barely back onside in time. The cross corner flip. The Deadwood's still in the way. Seidenberg tries a saucer pass. It goes off a stick and the length of the ice, and Froth will slow it down. Tyler Myers. George is off the boards. Seidenberg deep in the Boston zone. Marchand back on the ice after taking the high hit from Ennis. Enroth decides to cover up and take a face-off. Buffalo is on the board first. 12:33 to go, second period. In a game the Bruins feel they must and should win.
Introduce tonight's Mobile Bruins poll presented by the new Scion TC. Who is the greatest player in Sabres history? Reply A for Pat LaFontaine, B for Dominik Hasek, C for Alexander Mogilny, or D for Gilbert Perreault. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. Text help for info and visit NESN.com/terms for terms and conditions and privacy policy.
Not going to get an argument here with Dominik Hasek.
I don't know. I'm a little partial to Gilles Perreault, to be honest with you, Jack. Takes me back to my youth, and you know, when you were just so influenced by the game and certain players. Great French connection. And I know McGillney was only at 5%, but the year that Timo Solani, his rookie year, had 76 goals. Yeah. McGillney had 76 that year.
Yeah, he could go. Eriksson, third swipe at it. Hamilton shovels the puck to Soderberg, and now Marchand goes corner. Myers can't control. Eriksson's centering pass goes through the slot untouched. Hamilton goes back to pick it up for Boston with Stafford on the forecheck. Seidenberg. Long indirect for Paille against Ristolainen. Paille, the stutter step, goes back to the goal. Off the apron, you could hear it clank. Reinhardt up the left wing. Hodgson can't control the puck. Trotman turns the goal, and Deslauriers waiting for him, and as Deslauriers always will do, he finishes his check, flattening Trotman. Paille creates a pick for Gagne. Gagne can't swim around Hodgson with possession. Ristolainen past Gagne. Gagne loses control of his stick. McQuaid steps up and catches Reinhardt up high. That was a matter of a difference in physique. McQuaid does go 6'5". Paille gains the line. He's got Gagne ahead. Flubs it into Weber's legs. Weber clears the zone. McQuaid spins it back into the attacking end for Boston. Weber takes it on a pole. Mason Strachan celebrating his birthday today. Strachan and Stewart and Stafford all celebrating birthdays for Buffalo today. All the guys with ST to begin their last names. Strangely enough. Strangely enough. Brick, I never played the game beyond Pee Wee, but it sure seems as if the Bruins are thinking a lot instead of just playing.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you're a 500 team and you're in search of, and fill in the blank as far as that. The Bruins are in search of a number of things. Mostly their identity as a group and as a team, and certain individuals. What am I? What am I supposed to bring to the team? And am I delivering in the areas that I should be delivering? And we're about halfway through the hockey game right now, and it had Campbell with Gagne and Paille on the last shift. We'll see if Claude Julien goes back to some more familiar lines here, because the offense isn't sustained right now.
Yeah, it looks a little bit lost. Krejci, Lucic, and Griffith have had a couple of moments in this game. Of course, they are the one line of the 4 forward combinations that has remained intact for tonight's game. Another icing for Buffalo.
Tomorrow on NESN Live, Elle and Sarah will be joined by our Patriots insiders to preview their matchup with the Broncos and then take a look back at the most frightful fails of October. Get the inside story on NESN Live, presented by Cross Insurance, weekday evenings at 5:30.
Krejci line remains on the ice. Cody McCormick to take the draw for Buffalo. Lucic and Myers. Myers uses the longer reach to win the puck. Foligno works it out of his own end. The long pass for Chris Stewart. Pulls up against Trotman. Trotman pumps the hit into him. Lucic comes over in support. Trotman extracts his stick from Stewart. Gives it to Griffith to Krejci. Krejci works against Ristolainen. Here comes Lucic on the fly. Back to Trotman. The big triangle. Warsofsky backing across the line. Trotman's drive shatters McCormick's stick. That's 2 for McCormick in a span of about a shift and a half. Warsofsky taking a big hit from Foligno. Foligno loves to throw the body. Bergeron muscling it up the right wing. Fires for the blocker side. High corner, just a little past the post.
Yeah, real creative move out high by Warsofsky.
Hamilton to Kelly. The shot goes over the glove side. Corner high.
Worked the blue line beautifully. Nice little exchange with Trotman. Set up a one-timer that led to that block and broken stick.
Mitchell back into his own zone. Ristolainen off of Gianta's blade. Svedberg past Seidenberg into the corner. Seidenberg chops the backhand over to Hamilton. He's got Smith up the boards. Smith controls with Bergeron ahead. Softly off the glass. Bergeron and Weber to the corner. Weber gives it around to Strachan. Gets the pop-up puck. McQuaid recovers in the center circle. Off the boards to Smith. Smith has Bergeron on his left and Kelly nearby in support. Shoves back to McQuaid. The one-timer. Kelly on the tip, but it gets blocked. Smith to Bergeron to Kelly. He kicks it in deep. Strachan comes away with the puck, finds Girgensons, now Mitchell. And Chris Weber will take it out as the Bruins change on the fly. Marchand gets a piece of the aerial pass. Joe Morrow into space. Marchand with the stick check against Girgensons. Soderberg takes it away, finds McQuaid, the wrist shot, scores! Adam McQuaid on a wrist shot that bounced off a defender and found its his way past Jonas Enroth. And it's 1-1.
Marchand right there too, Jack, at the top of the crease. But they win a puck battle. Little play by Morrow up the wall that allows Marchand to have an opportunity, and then the good support by Soderberg. Soderberg real strong on the puck, and now you have good timing coming late with Adam McQuaid, that right defenseman. Takes that back diagonal pass, and then the snapshot appears to deflect off Weber, change directions past Enroth, and the Bruins are able to tie the hockey game.
Adam McQuaid's first of the year, a timely goal as the Bruins try to regain their confidence and go a little bit more on what feels like good hockey rather than having to think it all the way through.
I like that play by Morrow too. He just laid that puck in an area for purposeful.
Eriksson with a steal, tries to feed it down low. A bit unselfish as Marchand was cutting to the post.
Morrow putting that puck up that wall, Jack, allows Marchand a chance for possession, and it allows Soderberg a chance to lend support.
Well, jobs are available. It's not as if the Bruins are tearing it up, and if Joe Morrow can show what he can do, and Claude Julien likes it, he's going to get more playing time. Ennis maneuvering forehand, backhand, and takes a tour of the attacking zone around the perimeter. Benoit gives it over to Ristolainen. Molson and Seidenberg in a battle for the puck. Stafford slips to Ennis, tries a no-angle shot, but it doesn't get through to Svedberg. Stafford shielding the puck one-handed, fires it on Svedberg. He was holding the short post. Eriksson feeds Marchand out of the zone, 3-on-2. Marchand carefully over the line. Feeds Soderberg, the one-timer, and a save by Enroth. Seemed to be a slow developing play, but Marchand put the pass on the button. Soderberg gets off the shot. Adam McQuaid has tied the game with his first of the season.
The exciting rewind is brought to you by Berkshire Bank, where no two customers are alike. 3 looks, and nice timing by the way, 3 looks at the tying goal off the stick of Adam McQuaid. It starts in the neutral zone. You got to do things with a purpose. Joe Morrow lays it up the wall to allow Brad Marchand a chance to battle for the puck. And the close proximity by Carl Soderberg is the key to the goal. And he wins a battle of strength on a puck. Good hard stick, wins that battle. And then the net drive by Marchand. That's a key because it opens up that back diagonal. Good timing, coming late by Adam McQuaid. Not known for his offense, but he read the play well. But it all starts in the neutral zone. It's a good finish by McQuaid, and they get a good break when it deflects off Weber.
Vote for your favorite exciting rewind and enter the mortgage sweepstakes. Each month, Berkshire will give away great prizes, and at the end of the season, one winner will have their mortgage paid for a year. Go to NESN.com/Berkshire Bank for details. Life is exciting. Let Berkshire Bank help. Claude Julien taking his time to send players over the boards. And the Bruins will try to answer a couple of good shifts in a row with another one. Krejci with Lucic on his left, Griffith on the right. McQuaid, the goal scorer, out of the blue line with Joe Morrow. And Cody McCormick at the face-off dot for Buffalo. Krejci wins the draw. Lucic back to Morrow. Morrow's wrist shot never gets through as Krejci was getting sandwiched between Myers and McCormick. 2 pretty big bodies. Marcus Foligno in the corner. McQuaid gives him a shove. McCormick centers, but Morrow takes it away. Griffith to Lucic, back to Griffith. Taps the backhand down into Georges' corner. Lucic one-hands it around to the left wing corner. Griffith is quick on it with McCormick finally tipping him over. Then Krejci takes the puck out of McCormick, skates to McQuaid, to Krejci, high slot, and Myers with the monster reach pokes the puck away. Chris Stewart wraps it into the Boston zone. McQuaid flattens the bouncing puck. Griffith drops it off. Here's Morrow with a couple of quick strides, gains the line, feeds Krejci, closes with patience. He's got Morrow low. Back pressure from Torrey Mitchell breaks it up. Gianta's pass for Mitchell does not connect. No icing. Jurgensen tries to jab it away from Morrow. Gagne is there. The long carom pass for Paille. Trotman coming late. Paille decided to keep the puck in the corner. Trotman kicks the puck to keep it in the attacking zone. Now Mitchell chops it through his own legs to get the puck out to the red line. Campbell feeds it through for Gagne. Gagne closes, Deeks, turns, jams, still loose near the goal line, and finally underneath the player and out of sight of the referee to finish the play. 5:48 remaining, second period. We get a cross-check signal. We'll sort out the laundry when the game resumes.
1-1 you score, Bruins Sabres. Late second period when the Bruins are playing their best, especially on the offensive side of the puck. They generally have good support. Gagne comes to the support of Campbell. He's able to explode to open space. The 2-on-1 is created with Warsofsky coming up off that weak side as the defenseman jumping in. Great right pad stop by Enroth on Gagne. Gagne made a goal scorer's move to the forehand. And then late on the play from behind is the cross-check by Mitchell on Campbell when the Bruins are pressing for the go-ahead goal, but the Bruins with the man advantage.
When tied, going on the power play on the road this season, the Bruins are 2 for 10.
It's a pretty good number.
Yeah, 20%. Take that. The Bruins have been much better at getting on the power play this year than in the last few years. They came into tonight with 32 power play opportunities, which ranked 19th. Now the Bruins are tied for having played the most games of any team in the NHL. But that said, they were drawing them at a rate of about 1 a game in the last quarter of the season last year. Bergeron, McCormick jam stalemate, and the Bruins recover it. Bergeron getting it back to Riley Smith. Hamilton's wrist shot to begin the power play. And Foligno with the lunging effort, diving to help clear the puck. Hamilton to Bergeron. He's got Soderberg ahead at the line. He clears out of space. Eriksson trying to tap it through. The puck trickles by the stick side post. McCormick in trouble on the end boards. Riley Smith can't keep it in. Marcus Foligno with a break. Dougie Hamilton, the only man back. Foligno cuts, goes to the forehand, and Spatmark robs it. Terrific move by Foligno. Drew it all the way across the goal crease. But Spedberg was there to block what could have been a goal.
Oh, what a great effort, individual effort by Foligno. It started with a heads-up play to chip it past the pinching Riley Smith. And Dougie Hamilton didn't want to overcommit, so his angle was to the middle of the defensive zone. Foligno recognizes it. Hamilton doesn't want to get beat to the forehand side in front of him, but it allows enough room for Foligno to go backhand and still get to the forehand. And Svedberg knew that Foligno wanted to elevate this puck, so he gets that right pad across the ice, and then he wants to elevate it.
Marcus, the younger of two Foligno brothers playing in the NHL. Both the sons of Mike Foligno. Famous for the goal celebration. Jump! Warsofsky runs the power play from the blue line. Krejci takes a cross-ice pass. Lucic with the doorstep tip. Griffith crashes the goal. Warsofsky picks up the garbage as Buffalo isn't able to clear. Chris crosses and takes the one-timer from Krejci. That hurt Weber, and he limps toward the Buffalo bench, finding his stride as he goes.
Buffalo's had a number of real good shot blocks, a lot more commitment from that in that department, but what an opportunity for the Bruins. Good puck movement to find Lucic at the top of the crease.
Lucic fires the puck through both corners. Griffith in a puck battle wins it against Georges, but the pass goes all the way through to Myers, and he scales it about 100 feet in the air before it drops and slides behind Svedberg's goal. Last 10 seconds of the Boston power play. Krejci over the line. Lucic cutting in the middle. Krejci indirect for Seidenberg. Cross ice. Warsofsky catches it on the forehand. The diagonal to Krejci to Seidenberg. The one-timer. He fouls it off. One shot on goal during the power play for the Bruins. Myers to Stafford. Indirect for Mitchell. Fresh out of the box. 2-on-1. And it scores! Mitchell jumps out of the box, and the Bruins are victimized in the vulnerable minute. They trail once again.
It almost seems that every time the Bruins make a poor decision at a crucial time, the puck ends up in the back of their net. You have to be aware, know that penalties are expiring, when players are coming out of the box, and be on the right side of the puck, and the Bruins don't do that. The 2-on-1 against Seidenberg. Mitchell right out of the box. Perfect pass in stride. Ennis takes it on the forehand. Svedberg can't get across in time. A quality 2-on-1 by the Sabres. But some bad clock management by the Bruins to go along with a poor decision.
13 seconds after the penalty expired, the puck was in the back of the Boston net. Campbell and Paille battling in the corner. Marcus Foligno, who had that excellent shorthanded shift, muscles it up to the half wall. Tyson Strachan around for Stewart. Morrow pitches in on him. Gagne fires it on goal, and Enroth angles the rebound into the 6th row.
See Dennis Leary, Lenny Clark, Jimmy Fallon, and more at Comics Come Home when it celebrates its 20th anniversary at TD Garden on Saturday, November 8th. Proceeds benefit the Cam Neely Foundation for Cancer Care. For tickets, visit Ticketmaster.com.
Tyler Ennis with his team-leading 4th goal of the season. Bergeron wins the draw from Jurgensen. Seidenberg's wrist shot sails past the stick side post. Mitchell jabs against Hamilton. The Bruins trying to do something with their zone time. Buffalo ices it here.
Yeah, you think back to that Toronto game, the sequences that worked in the Bruins' favor. They get the big save from Rask on a power play, that save on Bozak, and the Bruins score on their power play. They kind of overlapped one another. And they get that shorthanded goal by Gregory Campbell after another big stop by Rask. And then the Bruins here on the wrong side of the sequence. Power play, a chance to take the lead. You got the tying goal from McQuaid. You got a little momentum in a hockey game. You don't get anything with your power play. And then you make a poor decision. Now you're chasing it again, down 2-1.
Gianta. Benoit snaps it well wide. Ristolainen hustles to keep the puck in the zone for Buffalo. Around through the corner. Gianta goes in direct. Benoit's one-timer off Kelly's stick. And Ristolainen pitches down to the hash marks to get the puck to Gianta. Bergeron stabs it away from the Buffalo captain. Benoit recovers. Clicking toward 2 minutes to go in the second period. Benoit, Ristolainen, Jurgensen's can of corn for Svedberg.
I mean, you've only given up 3 shots in the period. You know, the defense has been good. The team defense, the commitment to the team defense, and the positioning, all good. But again, just a little mismanagement and awareness, that word that Claude Julien likes to use when you're playing well and when you're not playing well. It's how much awareness do you have. And the Bruins get burned on the second goal.
Dougie Hamilton feeds Brad Marchand. The little guy works against the big man for Buffalo. Tyler Myers stops and creates some space for himself. Fires it off Myers' legs. Myers shoves the puck ahead to Stafford, who opened the scoring tonight. Myers joining the rush. Stafford's drive. Svedberg angles the rebound to the near boards. Ennis tries to shoot the backhand down past Hamilton. Nothing doing, and Seidenberg skates it free. Cranks one from the red line. Long bounce out to Marchand. Near the point now, Hamilton tips it into the defensive slot where Myers takes it. Stafford, Molson skips it wide of Svedberg. He steers it over to Seidenberg. Dougie Hamilton brings it forward as the Buffalo skaters drop back near the red line. Boston in a change. Benoit tries to catch him in it, and it's ruled icing as Morrow was closer to the puck as it went around the board.
You'd like to see a little bit more purposeful dumping that time from Dougie Hamilton. Tonight, following the post-game show, stay with us for NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Adam and Jamie will have more on the Bruins. Take a look back at Mayor Menino's impact on Boston sports and all the latest on the Patriots from Foxborough. Get all you need to know tonight following Bruins coverage.
Everyone's saddened by the news of Mayor Menino's death. He was a really fun-loving guy, and he loved all of Boston's teams. McQuaid chips the backhand down to the corner. Andre Benoit, who got Buffalo in this particular spot with the icing. Lucic hustles to win it away from Stewart and sends it around through both corners. Foligno grabs the puck against his chest. McQuaid keeps it and the puck in the Boston attacking zone. Cody McCormick in front of his own goal. That got a little bit exciting. Lucic on the near board centers it. Krejci finds it even though he was skating past the puck. McQuaid rams it down the wall. Good zone time here. Lucic to McQuaid. He closes. The shot deflects a couple of times. Morrow, a quick step all the way to the corner. Gets through Foligno's check. Fires it off the skates of Ristolainen. Lucic rotating to McQuaid. McQuaid wrists it toward goal. Krejci going for the doorstep tip. Griffith takes it away from Ristolainen, finds Lucic, the drive, knocked down. Lucic gets it back, shovels it right in front, and it tumbles past Griffith and Krejci. McQuaid down the boards against Foligno. Out Lucic at the line. It's a torture chamber for the Sabres. And Morrow's shot into the body of Jonas Enroth with about a second and a half to go in the second period. The Bruins with some of their best work in the middle 20 minutes right here.
Yeah, puck pursued, good pinches by both defensemen, left and right. Morrow, McQuaid, active. The skating game, not standing still trying to make plays. Lucic all over the offensive zone, some body contact. All the things that you like to see when you're in the offensive end. It's what creates offense, it creates shots on goals, it creates scoring chances.
I think Buffalo could win the draw and shoot the puck the length of the ice in 1.4 seconds. We've seen coaches pull goalies in spots like this. Oh, they're going to adjust it upward, 2.1 seconds.
Yeah, second time the referee's been over there. They were looking at it, make sure that Gagne's chance didn't cross the goal line last time we had a little delay.
Seidenberg's blast goes wide. It would have counted. Bruins outshoot Buffalo 10-3 in the second period, but the Sabres score on 2 of their 3 shots.
Well, the Bruins in the final period, in the final 20, are going to have to generate a little bit of their own energy. You're not going to get it in the building tonight. You know you're playing an inferior team that needs to play, to appease their coach and appease their fan base. So expect them to be a pretty decent team in the third period, but you've got to find more energy to your offense if you're going to take points out of this one.
Dale, and on the subject of energy, considering that Ted Nolan beat up the Sabres, the Bruins had that minute plus of zone time to finish the second period. You wonder if Boston's going to be able to set up in the Sabres' end of the ice in the third. 2-1 for the Sabres. As we get set for the third period, just moments ago, Brick had a chance to chat with Bruins assistant coach Doug Huda.
Dougie, 2 periods in the books. You're down by a goal. What have you liked about your team's effort tonight, and what areas need to improve?
Well, I still think, getting a little more traffic in front of the net. You see, we've got to get some more offense going in their zone. I think at the end of that second period, we created a little bit more, but we've got to get some more on our rush. I don't think we're really getting a whole lot off the rush. And then when we're in zone, we got to, move that puck around, and we got to get some pucks at the net and make it a lot harder on them.
With a rash of injuries on the blue line, you got 3 guys on the back end, really, with a little bit of NHL experience. Quick assessment on their play.
You know what? So far, so good. They're young guys. They've been taught well in Providence. They come up to do a job. They're just stepping right in. And like I said, you know what? They got to play with confidence, and they get to play a lot.
Well, 20 minutes or more to win a hockey game. Good luck in the third period.
Thanks a lot.
Drew Stafford got the scoring going for Buffalo at 5:12 in the second period on a power play. Adam McQuaid ricocheted one in from Soderberg and Marchand to tie it about 5 minutes later. And then it was Tyler Ennis scoring at the 16:25 mark. Now, you often look for a response to a goal. And in that last 3 minutes and 35 seconds of the period, the Bruins had the puck in the Buffalo end of the ice, 5-on-5 for 3:11. Is that a sign that Buffalo's running out of legs? A sign that the Bruins are ramping up the energy and finding some desperation?
That's more like it. I think the Bruins down 2-1 in this hockey game. I expect a lot more of that here in the third. Reminiscent of the Islander third period at home.
Maybe recklessness isn't the right word, but in the attacking zone, it would certainly serve Boston well to see some significant effort on the forecheck. Kelly and Girgensons going after the puck, and as Kelly tried to wing it toward the goal, it went off Girgenson's stick up and out of play. Chris Kelly with 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points so far this season. Brian Giannis skates it straight up to the red line, flips it into the left wing corner. Girgensons tries to set his edge, but McQuaid takes him right into the end wall. Mitchell jabbing at the puck. Bergeron whacks the backhand into the corner. Kelly one-hands it. It comes up the boards. And there's bowling pins, players down all over the place. Smith trickles it through Gianta to Bergeron in the corner. He stops against Benoit, flips over to Kelly in the right wing corner. Smith on the end wall. Smith tries to kick to the stick, does it on the second effort. Bergeron backing in next to the post to get some room. Smith, the quick pirouette, couldn't pull it under the bar. Morrow's blast, glove saved by Enroth. The puck was going wide, but a good reaction save and stop from Enroth.
Well, a clear message sent Riley Smith's way when he started tonight's game on the right side on the fourth unit. Reunited with Bergeron about halfway through the hockey game, and this is the kind of effort that they're looking for from 18. Good one-on-one battles, protected the puck, used his quickness and his elusiveness to create a chance for himself. Almost snuck it short side, right up over the glove, right up by that left shoulder.
Svedberg tries to send it along, doesn't get much of the puck. Krejci to the middle of the zone to Hamilton. Hamilton the diagonal, take to Lucic over the line. Griffith's shot, juicy rebound. McCormick paddles it out of the defensive slot.
Enroth knew he had Lucic on the net drive and purposely knocked that rebound high into the slot.
Myers takes the D-to-D pass from Georges. McCormick redirects it on to Svedberg. Buffalo peels off for a change. Seidenberg starts it out with Soderberg on the diagonal. Seidenberg wires it around, bounces and rides the dasher. Marchand turns away from Ennis. The shot from Marchand is saved by Enroth, and it bounces just past the post. Marchand with some terrific attacking hockey, and Morrow risks a challenging shot in on Enroth. He deflects the rebound up over the glass.
Two areas the Bruins can improve on in order to get more offense is clean breakouts, good passes, good decisions. David Krejci's going to post up. Even though he's the centerman, he's got to get over to get to this loose puck on the wraparound by Svedberg. And he patiently waits, use that weak side defenseman, which is Dougie Hamilton. And Hamilton, with his eyes up, sees Lucic coming off that wall from the left wing, filling the middle. Two real good passes to lead to the breakout.
You've described it many times. Here's Morrow winning a race against Ennis, and that says something because Ennis is really quick. Talked about how Marchand is so effective when he comes off the half boards aggressively. Soderberg right across the front. Here's McQuaid past the hash marks, fires it off the skates of Molson, and it comes near side. Strachan to Molson to Stafford into the Boston end with Ennis on the net drive. Ennis' backhand leg saved by Svedberg, and Marchand's off to the races in transition, but the Bruins are 2 against 4. Buffalo with numbers back. Marchand waits for relief, taps the backhand past Soderberg, and the Bruins want to change.
Good play by the Sabres, but a little loose in coverage. That was basically a 2-on-2. And the Sabres get a good chance.
Strachan, Weber, off the Laurier's body. Svedberg tries to send it around past Reinhart, but Reinhart got a piece of the puck. High over the line, Gagne fakes the shot, now throws it through a couple legs, and it bounces wide of the goal. Campbell upended in the collision in front. Sam Reinhart, the rookie. Across to Tyler Myers, who was Rookie of the Year. Reinhart trickles the puck to Trotman's corner. That comes off of Orsovsky. And now Gagne goes cross ice. Kelly almost swimming inside. Myers with the strides going into the Boston zone. Delorier snapshot saves Svedberg, and he steers the rebound to the corner where Bergeron takes it on a post.
Myers was better off carrying that puck. Slowed the play down by giving it to Delorier.
Bergeron to Seidenberg into the Buffalo end. Glove stop Enroth, and he'll take the face-off.
And just to finish off that 2 points that we wanted to talk about, Jack. The first one being breakouts. The second one, we talked about the second man getting there a little quicker. Marchand does a nice job on the follow-up of the forecheck. Hard wrap around. First man on it. That's... Was that Erickson or Kelly?
It looked
like Erickson. Erickson gets in. And there's that second man on a good read and react by Marchand. He ended up getting his own shot by coming off the wall and almost broke through Enroth.
Quick up, you heard, off the Boston bench. Trotman to Bergeron coming below the line. Smith gets muscled off the puck. Warsofsky jumps forward, and Gianta has it bounce his way. He throws it into Trotman's legs. The puck trickles to the end boards. Trotman to Bergeron handles a tough puck in a tight situation and gets it up the wall to Kelly for the clear. Warsofsky whacks it cross ice. Hamilton back to Warsofsky. He's got Krejci moving on the diagonal. Krejci jumping into the seam. He's got Smith going in front. Now Lucic in the mix. The long wrist shot by Krejci sails wide. Hamilton was jumping up on the play, and an alert read from Seidenberg.
A real nice little pump fake by Warsofsky. It was subtle, but it froze the Sabres, and it opened up a better passing lane to David Krejci.
Hamilton ill-advised cross ice. Stewart picks it off. Here's Foligno into space, and no one there. Lucic banks it off the wall, gives it away to Myers. Foligno's doorstep tip goes over the bar. Bruins with a couple of sloppy turnovers here. Stewart steering it in front. Lucic takes the body against Myers. Myers backs off. Griffith gives it away. That's a third turnover. Stewart misses wide on the glove side. Hamilton chips it up and out. Man, the Bruins playing with fire in the last 30 seconds. McQuaid back to pick it up. Lucic. Molson comes over late. Lucic gives it away center circle to Weber. Seidenberg off the boards. Lucic knocks it down. Feeds Eriksson. Eriksson goes 1 against 3. Ennis with the poke check. Stafford loses in turn to Soderberg. Now Joe Morrow sweeping around, but he drops the puck into Molson's skates. Ennis driving the net. Molson shoots. Ennis going for the doorstep. Tip off the deflection. He very nearly tapped it into the open side. Soderberg to Marchand flying up the wing. Marchand can't cut inside against Tyson Strachan. The diagonal back to Trotman. The shot up high on Enroth, and he pins it against his blocker and then lets the puck drop into the trapper to take the face-off.
Yeah, the count didn't stop at 3 on turnovers. It probably got closer to 5 or 6, and it started with this first one. Dougie Hamilton trying to force a play. Not sure if he saw that that passing lane was going to close when it did. Lucic tries to go indirect to find Seth Griffith. That's too hard. Goes right back to the point man. Bruins getting sloppy in their own zone. They can't work the puck out of their own end in through the neutral zone with speed. Turnovers like that are costly, especially when you're trying to play catch-up.
Well, Matt Molson still looking for his first goal of this season. They dodged the bullet, the Bruins did. Now they have to get the game-tying goal. They have outshot Buffalo 7-2 in the first 6+ minutes of the third period. Tyler Myers up the boards. Delorier hasn't caught his skates. Soderberg takes a hit to move the puck. Myers gets in Eriksson's way. Hyde set over the line. Off a skate. Floats off the corner boards. Warsofsky around the curve to Eriksson. Rattles around. Soderberg can't scrape it along. Reinhart to Weber. To Strachan, north and south to Hodgson. He's got a pretty good shot, fires it on Svedberg. Good rebound control by Svedberg, dumping it to the corner. Gagne extends the strides up the right wing, but the play is offside. Paille jumping the line. 13:10 to go in the game. Buffalo 2, the Bruins 1. Yep, gentlemen, it's all about the 2 points. And while the Bruins have not been stylistically excellent this evening, they still have a chance to do what needs to be done. Finishing the month of October 5-7 as a champ opposed would not be acceptable by anyone's standards. The injuries might contribute to it, but they are not an excuse for it. Teams all over the league suffer injuries. I think Columbus has 9 players on the injured list right now. Campbell and Strachan on the end boards. Weber's over there to knock Campbell all the way down. Gagne's pass for McQuaid skips past McQuaid all the way to Svedberg. He wrists it around the corner. Morrow trips over Delorier's leg. Kelly to McQuaid with McCormick closing ground. Now Kelly sends Morrow out to his own line. Riley Smith fires it past Myers. Attacks the puck with Enroth out of his goal. Kelly to Smith looking for Bergeron in front. Smith wheels, fires near the post. A wraparound. Kelly second chance into Enroth pads. Riley Smith making things happen. Rick, you talked about the bullet shot across his bow. Looks as if he's gotten the message and responded on the ice.
Yeah, obviously in the first 30 minutes of this hockey game, he got the coach's attention and their trust a little bit better tonight. So they put him back on the unit with Bergeron and Kelly, and he's been real good around the puck. He's winning his share of battles. He's making some pretty good decisions. Had that little pinch down on the power play down the wall when Foligno had his chance when he got inside on Dougie Hamilton. But other than that, he's been pretty good.
Puck rattling around the defensive slot. The Sabres keep it away from goal. Warsofsky retrieves with Stafford closing and Morrow also in the neighborhood. Bergeron laterally for Kelly. Kelly spins the puck down into Ristolainen's corner. Bergeron keeps it alive. Kelly in front. Smith's shot save. Enroth, no idea where it is. Hamilton chopping it in front. A terrific play by Hamilton, but the Bruins couldn't cash in. The energy is there. The finish, not yet. Lucic working Myers' side of the ice. Myers holds off Lucic. Beats Stewart. Chris Stewart chips it off the boards, looking long for Foligno, and they say Foligno was closer to the puck, and they wave off the icing. Seidenberg with Foligno in the neighborhood. Hamilton up the boards. Griffith to Krejci, to Hamilton, to Seidenberg. Hamilton, Griffith steps over the line. Krejci on the net drive. Lucic, third man high. Lucic tries to drop it off for McQuaid, and McQuaid and McCormick go face to face.
Just a little indecision on the pass attempt by Lucic. Didn't have enough on it.
Stratton with Mitchell on his right. No icing. Svedberg will play it over to McQuaid. McQuaid has Krejci middle of the zone, elects to go to the safer option, Louis Eriksson. Eriksson to Morrow. Morrow weaves around Mitchell, flings it behind Soderberg. Weber bunts to the red line. McQuaid hammers it in deep. The Bruins want a change of their defensive pair. Soderberg digging for the puck, can't come up with it. Warsofsky and Trotman are now the fresh pair of D-men on the ice for Boston. Trotman takes the space in front of him, getting away from Gionta, fires it off the blocker. The rebound, Soderberg, and a save by Enroth. Soderberg jamming for the puck in Strachan's skates. Good stick lift from Reinhart to free the puck. Trotman getting to it first, driving it, a high deflection. Mitchell spoons it out to center. The Bruins are setting up camp in Buffalo's end of the ice. If Boston can take care of the puck in their own end, it's really going to be Jonas Enroth under siege. The Bruins ice it here, though.
Well, go back 2 or 3 shifts, Jack, when Riley Smith gets the best chance of the period. Starts with that quality breakout, D to D, use the middle of the ice. Bergeron well positioned, a little chip and chase. Now your forechecks there. Second man close proximity. That's Kelly. Delivers a perfect pass in that triangle offense, and that's Riley Smith all alone in the slot. And Enroth robbed him with the blocker.
Ennis wins the face-off to Stafford. Trotman jousts with Matt Molson down in the corner. Ennis holds, centers, all the way back to Ristolainen. Molson on the tip, the puck well wide. Ennis to Stafford, trying to get away from Trotman. Trotman playing the physical game, ties up Stafford. Soderberg swipes it loose, but it's a hand pass as Molson got possession for Buffalo off the glove of a teammate. 9:06 remaining in the game. Riley Smith winning back the trust of the Boston coaching staff. Key play brought to you by your New England Audi dealers. 13 seconds after the penalty kill expires.
Yeah, it's the go-ahead goal, and it's a 2-on-1. Some mistakes, some clock mismanagement. Not sure the Krejci unit that was up front with Griffith and Lucic realized that Mitchell was coming out of the penalty box. Maybe they did, but they were caught a little deep, and then Warsofsky pinching down the wall, or the hesitation, and he gets caught in no man's land. And then the 2-on-1 and the beautiful finish. Mitchell finds Ennis, and that's where we stand. 2-1 Sabres.
Ristolainen guns it over to Andre Benoit. Wrists it high off glass. It bounces down to Seidenberg on the near side. Seidenberg to Payet. Payet tips it past Benoit. Molson with Campbell aggressively on the forecheck. Rasmus Ristolainen up to the red line to Ennis. Can't control. Seidenberg goes D to D to Hamilton to spread the ice. Now back through the seam to Gagne. Gagne snaps it past Ristolainen. Benoit around for Stafford. Loops it beyond Seidenberg, but Hamilton is there to recover. The play virtually all in Buffalo's end of the ice, but the Bruins unable to get the tying goal yet. High down to the hash marks for Campbell in front. Now Gagne at the half boards throws it toward goal with Paille jamming next to the post. Paille scoots away from McCormick. Hamilton turns the stick, throws it in front. Campbell jamming against Georges, but can't come up with a puck after the physical confrontation. Joe Morrow in his first NHL game. Rides it high around the glass. Smith catches it in the skates, takes the hit from Georges. Bergeron can't bring it along against Myers. Stewart lifts the stick of McQuaid, but Kelly on an alert play keeps it in the attacking zone. Stewart hoists it out. It bounces and tumbles and slides, and it will make the goal line for icing against Buffalo with 7.5 to go.
Buffalo just not making plays right now, trying to come out of their own zone. Individual suites are available for upcoming Bruins games this season. Suite rentals accommodate 18 to 60 fans and feature a living room area, private bathroom, in-suite, catering options, and more. Book your suite now by visiting bostonbruins.com/suite rental.
Bergeron wins the faceoff on the third effort, bringing it back to Morrow. The wrist shot off the pile in front. I think Cody McCormick made the block, and his stick stayed in one piece. Morrow backs in. The long pass. Smith keeps it alive by knocking it away from Girgensons, then swivels it for Bergeron. Bergeron chucks it toward Benoit's corner. Benoit with a good grip on Bergeron's stick. Gianta legs it up through the neutral zone. Svedberg tries to wrist it over to Girgensons on the boards. Kelly, Warsofsky, Trotman, the cross ice pass from Smith. The Bruins want to change. Buffalo unable to capitalize as they had the puck back in the neutral zone, and the Bruins were changing out body. Girgensons in the corner. Mitchell, who was the man coming out of the box and had an assist on the go-ahead goal. Girgensons shot off the leg. Myers reaches around to poke it in front. Now Zach Trotman gains speed out of the Boston zone. Cuts back. His pass off Reinhardt's stick. Krejci gets mashed on Georges' check in the corner. Lucic feeds it toward the front. Reinhardt blocks it with the skates. Gianta out to center. Warsofsky takes it back. Dougie Hamilton makes the turn just inside the Boston line. Josh Georges controls the puck, sends it around the curve to Myers. Myers having trouble trickling it past Campbell. Krejci going in after the puck. Now Seidenberg has the angle and a couple of steps on Delorier. Less than 6 minutes to go in the game. Milan Lucic unable to bring down Hamilton's airborne pass. Seidenberg to Hamilton. Soderberg scoops the backhand. Up and out of play. 5:38 to go. The last place Buffalo Sabres 2. The Bruins 1. The game report brought to you by your New England Ford dealers. Bruins have had the territorial advantage, but it's Buffalo's game on the scoreboard. Tyler Ennis with the difference maker. Bruins have 13 shots on goal in the third period. Buffalo has 13 shots on goal in the game. Brad Marchand taking the long feed. Eriksson scores! The Bruins have had their effort pay off. A dominant third period. Brad Marchand again involved with net drive.
Yeah, and a set play right off the faceoff. Something we've seen the Bruins do a number of times when they start hockey games or start periods. When they win the draw, they sell it as if they're going to go up the wall to the strong side wing. Seidenberg looks as if he's going to bank it off the boards. Looking for Marchand, but Marchand curls back to the middle, and the play is executed pretty well. And now they gain entry into the offensive zone, and you're right, Jack. Spot on. Push the puck wide. Attack the net. And the puck does some funny things on the way to the goal. The shot by Eriksson, the redirect by Marchand. Puck finds the back of the net, although they're taking a look at it. It's under review. We'll get another look at it from the reverse angle. There's your drive. How does this puck get into the net? Is it knocked in? Is it punched in? Is it directed with a hand? Sure looks like a good goal, doesn't it?
You're asking me to guess.
No, just be emphatic. Absolutely, that's a good goal.
Yeah, it certainly didn't look as if Marchand.
He's getting tied up. He's getting knocked.
Intentionally punched it in.
Yeah, he's getting knocked off his feet by Ristolainen. He's just trying to get to the net. That's a battle. It's not as if it's like a loose puck in the crease where he punches it in.
Puck deflected at least twice before it bounced in off Enron.
After review, the call on the ice has been confirmed. We have a good goal.
Frederic Lecuyer on the announcement. You know, if fans are under the impression that Marchand lifted his left hand off the stick in order to direct the puck into the goal, I think that last replay might have been the telltale, because he was in a stick battle with Ristolainen right in front. And
now, see, that doesn't sound like a guess.
No.
Now you're analyzing. Way to go.
Well, I'm gaining confidence.
I try to guide you there.
I'm trying not to think so much.
You can lead a horse to water.
Just dumped the bucket over my head. Some of it will end up in my mouth. So Marchand getting roundly booed here in Buffalo. They have not had a lot to cheer about this season. Still about 5 minutes to go in this game. The Bruins need to play their best hockey of the night right now. Out shooting the Sabres 14-3 in the third. Joe Morrow, who has acquitted himself pretty well in his first NHL game. Kelly slings it around. Benoit off Myers' skates up ahead to Chris Stewart. Stewart back across to Benoit with Marchand on the forecheck, and it goes haywire for Buffalo, short of the red line. Morrow long indirect for Marchand. He wants possession and brings it back to McQuaid for the regroup. Warsawski fresh off the bench. Terrific skater. Benoit flips the puck up. Mitchell. University of Vermont product, sends it back at his goal. Benoit off the boards. Trotman down to one knee to control it. Got hit both by Girgensons and by Gionta. And the Bruins keep it in Buffalo's end of the ice. Gionta tips it right to Marchand. Tried to get it along, but couldn't get the puck to cooperate. Gionta holds on the off wing. Looks for Mitchell curling out of the corner. Brings it back to Georges. Georges slaps it around. Mitchell catches it on his forehand, working against Trotman. Sets up the low cycle with Gionta. Georges to Myers, loads up the shot, blocked by Marchand. Marchand has had a strong third period. Marchand takes a big hit from Girgensons, and Eriksson's right in the seam. Eriksson waiting for help, eats it along the wall as the Bruins change out. Myers jabbing at Eriksson, but he gets it deep. Krejci caves in Girgensons. Georges gives it up to Hamilton on the wall. He fires it across the goal mouth. Back to Seidenberg, fakes the shot. Goes around the rim, and again Myers, the huge guy, can't reach it against the kick plate. Myers takes the puck in the middle of the ice from behind the red line, just ropes it over everybody, and that's going to be icing against the Sabres with 3.5 to go.
And those are the ones you really like to make hurt. Saturday night at 6:30, join Dale, Billy, and Barry when WB Mason presents Bruins Face Off Live. They'll preview the matchup with the Senators and take a closer look at how the Bruins' blue line injuries are affecting them thus far. Get ready for the game with NESN Saturday at 6:30.
Louis Eriksson gets his 400th career point, assisting on Marchand's goal, providing the impetus for that puck that Marchand deflected into the net. And we got a timeout called here. 3:21 remaining.
Well, the Bruins have done a number of good things here in the third period in terms of keeping the pressure on, continue to make plays from the back end, try to generate some speed. Their second man on the forecheck has been a little bit more aggressive, has gotten there a little sooner and created more opportunities. The one opportunity for Riley Smith that we showed you was just, I mean, exactly how the Bruins draw it up. I mean, that's how you want to play 5-on-5 hockey. They get a good break on a set play, like that set play that they use in the neutral zone. They don't use it all the time. They try to be timely with it, and it worked out perfect. But just the basics, the fundamentals of driving to the net. Marchand gets an ugly one. Got knocked around a little bit earlier in the hockey game. You weren't sure if he was going to come back. He's come back, and he's tied the hockey.
Krejci, Lucic, Griffin, Hamilton, and Seidenberg. Mitchell wins the faceoff away from Krejci. Jurgensen's chops at the puck, but has nowhere to go with it as he was wearing Seidenberg. Hamilton wires it in all the way around. Georges tries to pluck it off the kick plate on the backhand and runs into trouble in the corner. Lucic stabs it off the dasher. Krejci goes tumbling over Georges' stick. The puck's underneath his leg. You can hear the linesman or the referee yelling, "Move, move, move." Drew Stafford through the neutral zone. Tumbles the muffin into the corner. Hamilton chops down on Molson's stick. Lucic picks up the puck, but Griffith can't control it out of the zone. Puck has ridden the dasher an awful lot tonight. Molson down the boards. Hamilton takes the hit from Stafford. Seidenberg looks for an opening. Turns away from McCormick and gives to Hamilton. Stewart picks off Hamilton's pass at the red line, gains the zone. Svedberg makes the glove stop and clamps down on the puck along the ice with 2:19 remaining.
Hamilton had the easy play. Had David Krejci wide open, maybe 15 feet from him, but he tries to force something up the wall, and that's just handing the puck right to Stewart. Now you got to defend, and an offensive zone draw for the Sabres.
Bergeron against McCormick, and Bergeron wins that face-off mismatch. McQuaid up and out. Benoit sends it back into the Boston end. Svedberg risks it right to Foligno. The centering pass. Bergeron blocks it. Kelly nudges ahead for Smith. Smith loops it into Ristolainen's corner. Benoit on the diagonal for support. Stabs it away from Smith's skates. Kelly off the kick plate. McCormick can't clear. Bergeron patient. The shot goes off Ristolainen's stick and sails off the end glass. Now it's Kelly on the boards with McCormick. Bergeron right there in support. Indirect for Smith. McCormick flies the backhand chip to Stewart. Foligno to the red line, takes the hit from McQuaid and dumps it in. Buffalo wants fresh legs. Minute and a half to go. Joe Morrow tape to tape to Eriksson with Soderberg on the cut. Shot off a stick, or maybe it was a pass intended for Soderberg. Floating over the goal. Marchand stabs at Mitchell. It comes loose. Seidenberg shot angled up into the net as Enroth makes yet another stick save. 1:17 left in the game.
Joe Morrow lugs that puck out of his own zone. His eyes are up. He's looking to make a play. He likes to play this game moving forward. And sometimes you're going to make mistakes when you play that way. And he's a guy that's playing in his first NHL game. So obviously a long way to go in terms of experience. But the confidence of the coaching staff to put him on the ice in a 2-2 game.
You like what you see. He's the number 23 pick overall by Pittsburgh in 2011. Clicking toward a minute left.
1 minute.
Josh George is off Jurgensen's stick. Hamilton holds, gives to Seidenberg. Marchand offering a target. Hamilton straight up over the center dot to Marchand over the line. Eriksson, Benoit with a good check to knock Eriksson back to center. The Bruins will change out. About 40 seconds to go. Krejci, Lucic, and Gagne get the last shift for Boston. Lucic loses his stick on the check. Here's Ennis weaving over the line. Stafford and McQuaid, four-man pile up in the corner, and the Bruins come out of it with the puck. Krejci's pass. Lucic picks it up, flattens Ristolainen. Benoit off the board, spins it to the red line to Stafford. To Ennis, he darts over the line, but has to cut back to center. Now slings it in behind Svedberg's goal with 10 seconds to go. McQuaid carefully out of the Boston zone. Krejci to Lucic, the long drive, and a blocker stopped by Enroth just before the horn. It'll be a point apiece, and they'll go to overtime.
Some improvements from the Bruins here tonight. Coming in, it was one of those should win this game because you're the better team than Buffalo, but they needed to make improvements in certain areas. They limited the Sabres who said they were going to shoot the puck at every chance because they only had 10 last game. Bruins only given up 14 shots in this 2-2 game that's going to be decided in OT or a shootout.
Lowest they've allowed this season, 22 times. We'll be back for sudden death right after this. Save of the game brought to you by Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Marcus Foligno, spectacular across the goal mouth move. But Nicholas Svedberg makes the stop on him. Would have been a short-handed goal. Svedberg with 12 saves tonight. And Jonas Enroth with 32 stops. This is how it happened. This is how we got to 2-2.
Well, twice tonight, the Boston Bruins have had to chase the score. Power play goal, the first of the year, not only for Drew Stafford, but for the Buffalo Sabres with the man advantage. That got things rolling for the Sabres, a 1-0 lead. Later, after a nice play up the wall by Morrow, a purposeful little chip up, good battle by Marchand, good battle by Soderberg. McQuaid comes late, the deflection off Weber that tied the game. And then after the Bruins had a power play, maybe to extend or to take the lead, Mitchell comes out of the penalty box. He's only on the ice for maybe a dozen seconds. And the Bruins, unaware, leads to that 2-on-1. It's a beautiful feed to Ennis. And then the third period, Bruins looking to tie this hockey game. That set play that we've seen a number of times. Strong side winger, breaks to the boards, then curls back to the middle. Marchand gets open. Seidenberg finds him. Pushes the puck wide to Eriksson, and the net drive. It's an ugly one. It deflects in off him. But they all count. And when you're looking for baby steps in order to find your stride, that can go a long ways to finding it.
Dennis Seidenberg picked up the 200th point of his NHL career on the game-tying goal. Same goal on which Eriksson reached the 400-point career milestone. Bruins have been territorially dominant in this game. A 34-14 margin in shots on goal, a reflection of their 7-minute and 26-second zone time differential over Buffalo. 7:20 at even strength, the differential there. But it's not how long you have it down there, it's how many times you cash in. And Buffalo able to score on 2 of its 3 shots in the second period. Is in a position where they could knock off the Bruins in a game that Boston really needs to win. If you're used to overtime starting right away, as it did up until this season, it's because they do a so-called dry scraper, moving all the snow and little chips of debris, ice, before the overtime begins. And you'll also notice that they play the so-called long change. They switch ends from the third period, going in the opposite direction, as they do in the second period, which often leaves players stranded on the ice, fatigued at the end of changes. Tyler Myers and Josh Georges going to work. Milan Lucic puts the body on Myers. Ennis to Georges on the pivot. He's got Stafford straight ahead. Carries out, gives it to Ennis. Now Myers, the drive, saves Svedberg, long rebound to the circle, and Morrow, who's out there to begin the overtime, and a vote of confidence gives to another young defenseman, Dougie Hamilton. Over the line to Morrow, and Krejci on the net drive. Morrow's shot into Myers' legs. Morrow gets it back down to the corner, and Krejci's there before Georges can shut down the space. Fresh off the bench, Bergeron picks up the puck in rotation. Fires the save, Lucic the rebound, in front, Krejci, the shot rattles around, Myers without his stick, Lucic controls the puck, Myers has got to be getting tired, he's been out there the whole time. Lucic across the slot, here's Bergeron, the shot, save Enroth, juicy rebound into the slot, Ennis can't carry it out of the zone, and Buffalo's stuck in its own end in this long change situation. Bergeron cycles it for Krejci, with Marchand, 3 forwards, and Hamilton on the ice. Here's Hamilton down to the dot. Holds it in the corner against Myers. Myers has been out there for 1:20. Marchand scores! Riley Smith sets up Brad Marchand. Marchand a part of all 3 goals tonight for the Bruins, and they win 3-2 ugly in OT.
And 2 players that were moved off the line from Patrice Bergeron to send a message that we need better play, deliver in OT, and what a dominant overtime by Boston. Buffalo had the 1 rush where they tried to get a shot 2-on-2, and then Boston just had the puck in the offensive zone. Not only did they maintain possession, they had unbelievable scoring chances, and they're making line changes while they have puck possession in the offensive zone. And what a release on a perfect pass. I mean, you talk about a defense that just doesn't know who's covering who. Marchand wide open in the slot. And good use of the skates by Riley Smith. Head up, delivers a perfect pass. And what a finish by Marchand.
Now the competition committee and the hockey operations made some rules changes in the offseason, and you just saw why. That long change doomed Buffalo. They had some really, really tired players out there at the end.
It was amazing. The Bruins start with 2 forwards, 2 defensemen, and then when Morrow goes off the ice, Bergeron comes on. I mean, it was just, what a strategy. You go back to the set play off the face-off, that strategy pays off on a tying goal, and then the strategy in OT proves to be a winner.
2 points, they'll take it, Dale.